Yeah, it's pretty mad you've just gone over to Thailand, man.
Yeah. Because there's not many English people doing it, like staying there. But then there's a lot of the Scottish lads there, a lot of Spanish at the gym I'm at now. You get a lot of like Moroccans, Iranians, like loads of them living in Thailand now.
Yeah.
Like
Are the Scottish lads are all like Stevie Irvin?
Yeah. And obviously JP's like basically coaching. Well, he is. He's coaching at the gym I'm at now. I don't train with him like too much because he trains with a lot of the one guys. So I train with like a lot of the Thai trainers because I'm fighting more stadium style stuff, which he does. He like I will still train with him for, but he prioritises the kind of one guys, which makes sense. Like his sort of style and IQ is better for that. I think like more explosive, like dynamic sort of striking. You know, in the little gloves, he's kind of adapting that like coach IQ for. And it's paying off, you know. A lot of the guys are smashing it at the gym on one.
Yeah, because he's just packed up and left and gone over there as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he's just completely over in Thailand.
He's got a house there now.
Yeah.
He's got a house there.
he's doing it.
Yeah, mate, I was staying in the same condo as him, and then he was like, oh, yeah, I've got a house now. And I went and saw it. It's well nice. And he's got a bike and that there. Yeah, he loves it. He loves it.
So what, are you staying in like the, you know, with certain gyms, they have places for you to stay?
Yeah.
Is that how you're
I'm
doing?
not at the minute. So the gym, like people live at the gym. It's mainly Thai fighters and stuff. But there's a handful of foreigners staying there. I've got like a little condo at the minute, literally next door, because it's just a bit nice. Like I've stayed in a gym last year, and it's nice. Like it's good for experience, but I like having like my own sort of time because you're spending every day with the same people. You know, like constantly, like. You're training 6-7 hours a day. If you're not training, you're eating together. You're going like doing something together. So it's nice to just get away for a minute. You know, have your own sort of room and space. So I'm going to keep that for as long as I can afford it. But where I'm sort of sponsored at the gym now, like I can stay there for free. So it makes sense to move in there. Yeah. So I think next year I will move in there. But I'm just going to keep. I've got to watch like my funds next year a bit more. But I'm going to try to stay in the condo as long as I can. And then when I think, now I've got to kind of bite the bullet, and then I'll move into the gym and stay with them.
Yeah, bite the bullet.
Because it's nice, but I like my
your own space.
Yeah, I want my own space. Like I've stayed in the gym with Thais before, and I know what they're like. And they can be annoying sometimes. Like as much as I love them and I love training with them, they can get on your nerves. So it's nice to just... I'm literally a minute away, you know, and like I've got my own little space, and it's nice, and I can kind of take care of my own little bit, and it's nice, you know. But yeah, I think next year, towards halfway through the year, I will have to move in there and stay with them lot, because it makes sense.
People, welcome to another episode of The Curious VGN. I'm your host, VGN.
I'm the co-host, Rain.
We got Alfie Pearse with us today, man.
Hello.
I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've been messaging back and forth. We've had a humongous 2 years as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just want to get to know you a bit more, get to know your journey, and just have a good old chat, man.
Yeah.
How did you actually get started with Muay Thai? How did you actually get involved in that sort of scene?
So with the Muay Thai, obviously I started at the gym where we are now. Started actually pre-COVID, sort of just after actually, when people were allowed to sort of go to gyms and start like training again and go out a bit more. And I just done it to sort of lose weight. Like I was quite unhealthy lifestyle, like, and I do you know the first thing I started doing was just running in lockdown, like for something to do. And that gave me like a good buzz, and I thought, like maybe if I do something else, it'll feel better. And then I started looking at my physique and think, if I make myself look better, like I'll feel better, you know. So it was my cousin originally down here, like fights out of here, PTs and stuff. I messaged him, and it was originally just to do like an MMA like PT with him, because I was watching the UFC. I didn't know what Muay Thai was at this point. I only watched like UFC and stuff. And I like that, so I was like, let's train some of that. And I went there with him, enjoyed it, done like 3 PTs with him, but it was just me and him, like no one else here. And then after that, I started coming to the classes. I paid my membership, but I started going to every single class. So I was here like 2 times a day. So I was here for the morning, like, Muay Thai session. Then I'd be here for the evening BJJ and then train Muay Thai after that. Like, I was literally here. I was here so much. And obviously Andy, the Thai coach, like the head coach here, he saw it and started to take a bit of notice to me. And then, like, I remember sparring. This was like the main session when I sort of clicked with him. I was here for sparring on a Wednesday. And Jacob, another one of the fighters there, he didn't know that we were friends before, like, I came here, like I'd known him before. And we started proper having it in sparring, like, still smiling and stuff, but, like, proper, like, going for it. Because we both weren't really training properly then. It was more just, like, swinging for each other, but enjoying it still. Because, like, we're mates. And he saw that and he was like, oh, like, Alfie's really game. And then a few more sessions, whatever, training, getting to know people. He said to me, must have been after 2-3 months of training, he's like, oh, there's a fight opened up not far away. It'll be in shin pads, 70 kilo. This was when I started here, I must have been 80 plus kilo. As soon as I started training, weight was just falling off anyway. But it was at 70 kilo my first fight. And I took it. It was like a week, and then went up there, won. And it was a mad experience, obviously. Like, all my family coming and that. Sort of got the buzz from there, really, and the rest is like history. I was just in it ever since. Put everything into my training, and just became very focused. As soon as I discovered Muay Thai, I've been like obsessed, you know, like watching it, just training, going out there, living it, you know, like really just kind of took it in.
Yeah.
Like ever since.
Because we first seen you, I think it was CFS. It was when you won the ISKA.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this guy must have had hundreds of amateur fights, this and that. And then everyone was like, nah, you've been doing it for like 2 years at that time.
Yeah. Even then, I think maybe less. You know, I'd had 4 or 5 fights before that. One of them being in shin guards, and then the rest just going up. So, you know, like there's levels in England, like. And I went from the shin guard fight, and I had a C class, which is just like bare shin, but no elbows, and sort of longer, like 1.5 minute rounds. And then I went straight to like pro-am B class sort of thing. Had a couple fights there, but was just improving. The more like I was able to use all my weapons and had a longer time limit, I was just better.
Yeah.
So Andy was like, you need to just fight A class because it's going to suit you so much better being able to use everything and having 3 minutes to sort of work. Like with my style, it's kind of draining for other people, you know. So yeah, 5th fight. Me and Corey, he was actually here yesterday. Like we stay in touch a lot. We was training together. But yeah, that was a really, really good fight. Really good domestic fight because it was both our first A classes, both on like undefeated. He was like 7-0, I was like 5, I think. And yeah, it was an exciting like domestic clash. You know, he's not from far away, you know, so it was good. It was a good fight. Really enjoyed it. Good experience. Learned a lot from it. And yeah, it was exciting to kind of. I think that was when a lot of people first saw me, because that was when CFS has grown now and is even bigger. But like that was when people were watching it a lot. I mean, that show was a big show. I can't remember who else was fighting on there, but they've always had good headliners. You know, I remember when I fought on the show before that, Nico was the main event, and Stevie was on there. You know, so a lot of eyes were on that show. So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty mad though. Like, so you started in COVID, and now you're in Thailand fighting at stadiums.
Yeah.
Like,
it's crazy.
Like that is crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's full circle. Like you're there. Like
I know. It is mad, but I've kind of just took it in and tried to like. To me, I don't know. Like, I've just tried to stay as active as I can. And now I just look at it as my job now, you know, like it's where I earn my money. It's basically like my duty to go and to fight now. Like I don't see it as a hobby anymore. Like it is my job. I'll fight anyone, like sort of thing. Like it's what I do financially now. So I'm just trying to get as big as I can and fight as much as I can, you know. And Thailand's the best place for that, for experience. And everyone, all eyes around the world from Muay Thai scene is on Bangkok, you know. Everyone's watching the shows there, so there's no better place to be.
Is that, like, being in Bangkok and stuff like that, is that where you see yourself staying?
For now, yeah, for now. Like, when I left, it was mainly because I couldn't get any fights in the UK. And since I've come back, I've had, like, loads of offers throughout the year. Like, people are like, oh, you staying? Like, will you fight on my show? And it's all nice, but obviously Bangkok is a whole different ball game. You know, that's where the best are. And that's where I just see myself staying. Like, I think I'll always come back sort of Christmas, if I can afford it, like Christmas time, and like holidays and stuff, because I'll always want to come and see my family and that, and my people at the gym. But for the next few years, you know, while I'm young, I'll be staying there for at least, I don't know, as long as I can. As long as I can, yeah.
Have you struggled with the, like, because you didn't have a big amateur career, have you struggled with sort of fighting the more experienced guys and stuff?
Well, obviously I've had like success in all my fights. There's one I've lost, and I think that was down to experience, but I don't think it was like amateur experience. These Thais have been fighting since they were like kids, like full rules, you know, like they're not fighting no headshots in shin guards. They're fighting full Thai rules from when
they don't have different classes.
No. They're straight in elbowing each other from babies, young, like knocking each other out.
No pads,
no.
They just straight in.
Like, I think you see like pads like in like.
They must be getting cut up from young.
Mate,
man.
there's kids at the gym that are cut like from like big cuts on their forehead from fights. You know, like some of them, I've seen like. In Phuket and stuff, you'll see them wear like shin guards and stuff, but that's not like the proper fights, you know. These proper fights where these kids are really good, like fucking really good. Like I've seen them and they're amazing. Like you watch them train, you think, wow, like how are you that strong and how are you that fast and kick so hard for someone that small? And it's mental. And then you just see them fight and you're like, wow, like scissoring each other to the head, like proper going for it, you know, like one of them will get knocked out and it's crazy, but that's just the life there, you know, like their whole families will go watch it and stuff. Like it's not like here, like my mum will come to my fights, but she won't even watch like the most of the fight, you know, like there the mums are cheering, like they're very passionate about it, you know.
That's also for the Thai though, that's like some of their main jobs, is to fight.
So and obviously fighting. Like they are like the ones that are, how do I say, like, yeah, like you say, their job is to fight. So you see them at the gym, from kids to adults, like they come, they fight, they go home for a bit if they can, then they come back, they fight. So I think living with them has sort of helped me like get more used to that sort of idea of just training, fighting whenever, whoever, because you get so many different like opponent changes, weight changes in Thailand. You've just got to, if you're at a gym you trust, then you've just got to trust in like your boss or whoever the promoter is, and you've got to just do what they say, you know. And I have done at every gym I've been at, and it's gone well, you know. So.
How's it been transitioning your camp sort of over? Obviously, you've been with Andy the whole time, and then now you're trusting another trainer.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Well, obviously, when I'm here, I get a lot of attention with Andy, you know. Like, we will train loads through the week, as much as he can do, you know, as much as he can do and I can, like weekends. So that's different in the aspect of one-to-one, like, attention. But out there, you've obviously got a massive stable. Like, I still have teammates here, but there you're talking like all the other fighters are like fighting at a top level, you know, and they're all similar weights, and all doing the same thing. And like the coaches are still like, one coach in particular at the gym I'm at now, one of the Thais, like he will watch who I'm fighting if it's like a big name, and he'll come up with stuff. But it's not so much one-to-one attention because there's so many of you. So you're doing like, you're all getting your pad rounds and stuff, but you'll hit pads with a different trainer every day, you know. So it's not like here where I'll be working with Andy specifically for a fight every day with him. I'm training with a different trainer each day. I'm clinching with someone else each day, sparring with someone else. Like, so it's very different, but now I'm like got up to a good amount of fights, you know, like at pro level. I'm more comfortable in there anyway, and I just know if I'm fit, then it's all the same. It's all the same now. Like, I just need to be fit, and I can do what I do when I'm in there. Obviously, I love being here, like training with Andy. Like, he will come out to Thailand. He did last year when I've had big fights and we've worked together, and that's like a good like morale boost, you know. Like when I'm out there. And then he comes, like it's a big like boost for me, like mentally and obviously we train together, so physically as well. But it's very different. Anyone who's been to Thailand and done it will know the difference between here and the UK. But there's pros and cons to both, you know. But I'm enjoying where I'm training now in Bangkok, so I'm there for the foreseeable future. So yeah.
Have you seen your skills massively improve since being out there?
No, the one thing I remember talking with Andy about was like at these fighting gyms in Thailand, like pure fighting gyms, they're not really too worried about technique. It's more just making you strong, ready to fight because you're fighting so soon. Like, I think you could go to gyms in Thailand and they'd work a lot on technique. But here, it's like every so often you'll have like, you'll be hitting pads and they'll say, this, or teach you a technique. But it's more just getting strong and fit and ready to fight, because the fight camps are 3-4 weeks long at most out there. They're not like here where you'll have 8 weeks. People might even have 12 weeks, you know. So it's just, that's one thing I've noticed about all the gyms I've been to, like the fighter gyms, they don't really worry too much about technique. It's more like, when are you fighting? All right, sweet. This is how many pad rounds you're doing. You're clinching for this long. You just need to be fit and strong. Like, I think my technique's getting better as I keep training, like the years I've been training. But I also think I'm not the most technical fighter anyway, and I don't think I ever will be. I think I'll get better, obviously, but I'm good at what I do, and I don't need to be too technical for that, you know.
You've got a very specific style. Walking people down, Muay Thai, clinching. Walk people down, back them up to the ropes.
Yeah, just trying to put it on people. Like you say, Muay Thai style, clinching, kneeing, trying to add a bit more to it, like putting my hands, adding to my boxing game more. I think it just comes with experience, you know. Like, I'll always have that forward pressure, go style, but just adding things to it, you know, being a bit clever. Because these Thais, like, that you're fighting, the ones that have had, like, loads of fights and are at, like, their prime, they're very clever, you know. They fought Muay Thais before. They know how to fight them. So it's just getting that experience, just fighting as much as I can. The most experience I get is when I fight. That's when I grow. So I just try to fight as much as I can, and then.
Do you change your style for any of the opponents, or do you just have a specific style, one style, and they have to beat your style?
I think I don't really like adapt and change my style too much. I think because
your style is like very wear and tear.
Yeah,
it's like you gain on them, especially in the later rounds. You start getting them,
and that's in Muay Thai. They're the important rounds as well. So it's like you're sort of slowly drowning someone in the pressure, and then in the third and the fourth and the fifth, you're winning. So your judges, if you don't stop them, the judge is going to give it to you anyway, because they always say in Muay Thai the later rounds are more important, especially the 4 and the 5. So that's why it's such an effective style to have, because, like I said, even if you don't stop someone, you're winning on points, because straight knees and clinching someone and being very dominant is a high score in Thailand. So, yeah, I mean, I think I've had like certain opponents where I've thought, I'll have to do this more or do that more, but then it kind of all changes when you actually fight anyway. I think it's all just down to like sort of muscle memory, like, and sort of reacting and just kind of going in the moment, you know. Like, I've never made a specific game plan for a fight. Never have.
It's so mad. Like, some of these times we've been fighting for ages and he's just rocking up and just doing his thing.
You just go and I just do my best, you know. Like that's all I can do. Just if I do my best, then if I lose, then I lose. You know, what more can you do than try your best? That's my only like fear of like going and not putting on a good show or a good performance, or like giving up and knowing myself I've given up. But I haven't had that yet, and I've always done my best to like keep going and fight. Like even when I lost that fight last year, all the Thais were like so happy with me still. They said like you didn't give up, like you didn't show any like weakness or anything. So I was still happy after that, you know. Like it was weird because it was my first loss, but I was still proud of myself because I'd gone and I'd fought like a top Thai at a top level who's beaten some really good Thais that I know and I've trained with. Like it was mad fighting him because I'd seen who he'd fought. I was like, wow, like this is insane. Then he got in the ring and he had like the Raja belt around him, and I was like, wow, this is actually happening. Like this is crazy. And then obviously we fought, and like I remember fighting him like specifically, and nothing was actually hurting me. Like he wasn't damaging me or anything like that, but he was just very clever, like very clever. Like I mean, he was doing things that were like scoring high just as the ref was coming to break it. It's like he knew. It's like he'd see him coming without even seeing him coming. It was second nature to him.
It's like he's played this game one too many times.
And that's when I realised, like in Thailand, it's not just about like it's a fight, which I've always thought like with Thai. Like at the end of the day, it's a fight. Like as much as you game plan, you're going in for a fight, like trying to hurt each other. But when after that, I thought you need to know how to play the game. Like for the judges and stuff, because there's certain things that they love to see, and I think that helped me with my last like big fight in Thailand on RWS, because I was doing things that he'd done to me in the last fight that the judges obviously favoured because they gave the decision to me, even though it was a close fight. Yeah. So
Well, how did that fight actually come about? Because I know it was a short notice fight. Obviously, you would have been the first if you would have won the title, you would have been the first British to win the title in that stadium. What is the stadium? It's
Rajadamnern. So it's the first like ever Muay Thai stadium. Yeah. So it's pretty.
Is it a big stadium?
Yeah.
There are a lot of people in there. Hold a lot.
Yeah. That one and like Lumpini are like the two main, like the most well-known stadiums. Obviously because of one Lumpini now and everyone sort of know. But they're both massive. Like that's what I mean. You're going from fighting in like. Some of the venues are nice here, but like I've fought in like town halls or nightclubs, and then I'm going into stadiums, and like they really do, like it takes your breath away, like it's insane. But yeah, the fight came about. Like I was training at the gym, and the owner of the gym called JP and said about like, because who I fought last, Adam Loy was meant to fight John for the belt on this date, but they'd already rescheduled it because he said he was injured, which I think he was, to be fair, but they had to reschedule it, but they didn't want to reschedule it again because it was like 3 days away, obviously. So they was looking for someone, and they said, do you want to do it at 63.5, 3 rounds? Like if you beat him, it's a massive win. And I was like, hold on, like he's the champion at 61. I didn't even think about what my weight was at, like because I walk around pretty heavy for 61, even though I can make it. Like I'm a big boy for that weight. Like probably not as much as some people, but
you're tall though.
Yeah, I'm tall. Like, I'm small. Like 70 kilo, you know. So like. It still takes some doing to get to that weight. I need the time, but I didn't even think about it. I just thought I want to fight him for the belt. Not really even doing my research on him. I didn't even know him that well. He's actually more of a clinch fighter himself. But anyway, so I said to JP, like, can we try to get it for the belt? And he's like, yeah, we'll try to do that. He said to him about it. Bit of back and forth between like promoters, RWS, the guy from my gym. The day out, like the night, they said, yeah, we're going to do it for the belt. So I was like, oh, wow. I better start losing weight then. So I think it was Wednesday night. It was Tuesday night. So I had Wednesday and Thursday to lose weight.
How much weight?
And like a lot of weight. And Friday morning, like 8 kilos, maybe more, like a lot of weight. Like, and I was at least 69 kilo at the time. And I just started in the sweatsuit straight away in the morning. And it was coming off pretty well at first. I was like, oh, this is going to be all right. Like, I'm going to get it done. Done morning, afternoon running. And then my nutritionist was like, don't go in the morning. We're just going to... Don't go anymore. We're going to sauna in the morning. So I went to the sauna. It kept coming off. And it was going pretty well. Like, overnight, I'd lost a bit. So I got down to about... When I was in the morning, on Friday morning, I was 62.9, so I was almost there, but still quite a way to go. And I managed to get more off, and I just kept getting in the sauna, but I was there for ages. Like, I mean, me and my nutritionist at the time, we were there for, gotta be like 2 hours at least, in and out of the sauna, at least.
Till
I couldn't literally, physically... was like having to do 5 minutes at a time because I was just so exhausted. So done. And Andy actually was coming for the fight, so he turned up and just saw me like on the floor, basically, like in a sweatsuit, like just coming out of the sauna. So I didn't even really take in that he was there. Like, I was just in such a bad way, and I kept going. And I remember I was at the point where I was at like 61 and a half and a little bit. So I was almost there, like a pound off, like half a kilo. And at that point, I was like desperate. I was like, whatever we can do. So they literally shaved off all my hair, all the hair off my body, to think, oh, that might lose, like, even the nutritionist thought that might lose like 200 grams or something, but nothing. Literally nothing. So I shaved my head. I shaved my head for nothing. But I wasn't even bothered.
You'd have done that. Would have been the easiest thing.
That was a minor to me at the time. I was like, just don't get me back in the sauna. But I tried, so I went back in the sauna. But at that point, I wasn't sweating anymore. Like, my body just wasn't giving out anymore. I'd lost too much, I think, in a short amount of time. Like, I'd gone too far. Went to Raja. Checked on the scales, I was a 0.5 over, like at the gym. They was talking about it. We said, they said you've got till 1 o'clock to lose it. This was at like 10 o'clock. So I went to go outside again, and I literally couldn't even stand on my own at this point. Like, I was in a bad way. Like, I was getting like helped along, and we was like, let's try find a sauna. One of the Thais was with me from the gym, and Andy, and we got on his motorbike. And we're looking around, and we've drove up to this first place, and they're like, oh no, the sauna's not here anymore. And I'm like, oh fuck. And then we've gone to drive again, and I'm like, we got to tell him to stop a minute. I feel like I'm going to fall off. And then I just got off, laid on the floor on the side of the road in Thailand, and I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm not going to lose anymore. Like, here, I was like, it's not going to come off. Like, we just got to go talk with them. So we went to talk with them. The guys from RWS were actually really sound. They were like, yeah, we understand fully. You took the fight on short notice. We can see you've tried to lose the weight. It's obviously down to John and his team, what they want to do. Obviously, I apologise to them and their team. But they decided they could either make it a 63.5, like, so we both drunk water, put the weight on, made it fair, and 3 rounds, or fight for the title. But I wasn't actually eligible to win the belt, but it was like still a title fight, so it was still a defence for him. But yeah, I couldn't win it at the time. So they decided for that, because I remember they were standing like opposite me, and they were speaking in Thai obviously, so I couldn't understand them, but they were literally pointing at me, like basically saying, look at him, like, and I was laid down, like, they wouldn't let me drink water until we decided what to do, so I was just on the floor, like, laid down, and I looked in a bad way, like, all shaved head.
Razor.
Like, I see that photo of you sitting in that, the brick wall bit.
That's outside Raja, yeah.
Slumped over, man.
I've never felt like that. I remember I went back, so I've drunk some water, gone back, and as soon as I'd got some liquid in me, I cried for ages, I remember, because I was so disappointed in myself, like, I didn't make the weight. Like, I couldn't cry until I drank water. That's how dehydrated I was. Like, it was mad.
That's a bad way, though.
No, I know.
We're not all deep in this.
Yeah,
like, you could not even cry tears. Yeah. He had no water in his body.
I was literally like that, about to cry, and there was no tears. But I was still, like, like, sad. And when me and Andy got back to, like, near where the gym is, he come up with me for a bit, and as soon as I'd like got like over a litre and a bit of water back in me, then I was actually crying. And then, but then I've sort of obviously decided, like, I've still got a fight here, you know. If I beat the champion, I can fight him again. So, yeah, but I was in a bad way. Like, as soon as I had something to eat, my stomach was ruined. I literally had to go straight to bed. Like, slept all the way through till the next day. So it weren't the best sort of circumstances to fight for the belt.
Fight.
How did you actually? Yeah, how did you actually feel going into the fight? Like, did you feel like fucked up a bit?
No, I felt all right. Like, I don't know.
Did you feel all right? Yeah, did you feel? Did you feel normal? Like, because obviously you know what.
Better than what he did.
Yeah.
Obviously better than the day before.
But I think you kind of, when I was in there and like there was all these like, because you get a sort of Thai media pages and stuff, like they was all in my face. And then I was sat next to John and we were both getting my hands out, and that just gave me like a boost. Like, wow, like this is really happening. Whatever happens, this has happened already. You know, like I'm sitting here. And then we're both sitting next to each other. He's got the Raja belt like wrapped round him. Like we're both sitting next to each other, gloves on. Because in Thailand there's just one changing room, and then you sit next to each other, watch the fight before, and then you go out. So that was just crazy. But he was a nice Thai. Like, I've realised when you fight a lot of Thais, they'll either be a nice like smiley one, and normally they're the ones that are harder to fight, or you get like an angry one that won't like smile. Because I'm always quite friendly before a fight anyway, because I don't think it matters really. Whatever happens, it's not going to change the next day. Like, I understand it that people do it to build things up and stuff, but for me, like at a weigh-in and stuff, I'm not going to like start getting in someone's face, because at the end of the day, we're fighting tomorrow. So what's the point? And Thais, I think, are very like bring that out, because you watch them and they'll be smiling, shaking hands, then the next day they're absolutely kicking lumps out of each other. Yeah. So. But yeah, it was a crazy fight, crazy experience, you know, like going through what I did, still fighting him, going the distance with him, you know, landing stuff of my own. Obviously, he won the fight, and I knew he'd won the fight, like, just because of obviously the open scoring. But I thought he did anyway, like, even if there weren't open scoring. He was clever on the day. Like, he obviously said he watched footage of me. He knew I was just going to keep walking, and he just used that like against me to sort of, because he's so strong clincher anyway, because he's a clinch fighter. He was strong when we was clinching, and then was good at keeping me off like when we wasn't. And I think obviously the weight cut and stuff would have taken a bit out of me, like my actual output and like IQ. But there you go. Hopefully I'll get the chance again with like a good few weeks' notice.
Yeah, you took a shot of greatness, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't really.
Yeah.
You went for the shot, and to be only 0.5 over.
I know, it was horrible.
How you even lost all that weight anyway? 0.5.
I got down to like the last pound, and it was. But I weren't sweating no more. It weren't coming off, and I literally couldn't stand. I couldn't have run on my own. Like I couldn't have. So it was hard.
That's like a bad cut.
Yeah, it was.
That's a bad cut.
How old are you?
Worst I've ever done. 22 now.
22.
Yeah, turned 22.
Do you reckon you'll be able to do more, like many more of them though?
I wouldn't do that. I never cut weight like that ever. Like I always bring my weight down, like eating right. And then by the time I get in the sauna, like my last fight at 61, I had like 3 kilos to lose.
Yeah.
Like, and that sounds like a lot, but it isn't compared to 8 or more. Like, so that come off really easily. Like it was the perfect weight cut, and then the fight was sweet. So it's just having that time, you know, like. But I don't want to do any weight cuts like that again. But in Thailand, sometimes you just get these opportunities come at you, and you need to try.
Yeah, for big opportunities.
Yeah, I would do it again. For that opportunity, I'd do it again. So I'd do the same thing again. But hopefully, I'd make weight.
Yeah, that's it. But at least but like you said, there would have been no like going in there and beating him. Would have still been your stock rose anyway from that regardless. Even in England, like you were on every single page, every single Thai page, every page you got fighting going. So even just getting the opportunity, because first British fighter it would have been to win the belt. Is it in that stadium or just win the belt in general?
No, it's in that stadium. Obviously now Joe Ryan's done it. Like he done it at his weight. But to me, like the important thing for me is. The weight I'm doing it at is quite important to me. Yeah. Not taking anything away from any of the guys that have done it at a higher weight. But I just think from 63.5 and below is where the Thais are their best. You've got some good ones. Obviously, you've got people like Tawancha and stuff that fight at 70 that are unreal. Like, but I mean, stadium Thais like now, like not one championship or anything like that. Like that's where they're the best. So if you can win a belt at that weight, then it's a big achievement, you know. But there's all different. Like obviously you got Lumpini Stadium, and then there's like other mini ones like Omnoy, Channel 7, Rangsit. There's loads of little stadiums like you can win belt. You can win like a Thailand belt, like foreigners have won that. So it's like a British thing you could win here, but in Thailand it means a lot more, obviously. But you've got all the stadiums have their own belts and rankings and stuff. But to me, Raja would be it'd be amazing to win because the Thai who's got it is really good.
Yeah.
And it would just mean a lot to have that, you know. It's the first stadium ever, like it'd just be unreal to just hold that belt, you know. And I think I will get another chance. I think where I won my last fight on RWS, I think one more big fight in there and at that weight, and they'll give me the chance again.
Yeah.
So that's what they
with
said.
a better weight cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you beat that Adam Noy as well, didn't you? Ain't he like higher up in the rankings?
So after that, I was 8. So I'm 8 in the rankings now. And above me is crazy. When you look at it, it's all Thais apart from me in these rankings. And some of these Thais are insane. Like I've been watching for years. Like, and the first one I said is the one I've been watching for ages. When I was like, oh, who do you want to fight next? Like when I was talking with the promoter, he's like, who do you want to fight next? You can like sort of take your pick out of the rankings and we'll try to get it for you. And I was like, oh, Petsam, like that's a big name. I'd like to fight him. And he's like unreal. He's been fighting for years, you know, he's had like 3-4 fights with Rodtang, maybe more. He's like an unreal fighter. He was meant to fight yesterday, but they had a problem with the weight. He was meant to fight the Thai that I'd lost to, so I was really interested in that fight.
Was he fighting Rodtang in the stadiums?
Yeah,
before he went
so he
to
beat Rodtang a lot.
Yeah.
Cause, but then they fought and won, and Rodtang beat him because he was kicking him. Rodtang's obviously marching at him, trying to punch his head off. So, as he does.
So Rodtang would have been in your weight as well.
Yeah.
So is that why that weight's in?
A little bit lighter. Like this was before I was there, so I think back then them two would have both been a bit lighter.
Is that why them weights are more important because all the Thais are quite small?
Yeah, and they're very good. Yeah, they're very good.
So them divisions are like stacked out if you can win at them sort of levels.
Like even below that, like 61's a very good weight. Then you've got like 57, 59, and the Thais in there are like ridiculous, man. Like they know how to play the game. Like if you won a belt at that weight, then that's like...
Because McGowan would have been fighting at a lightweight.
McGowan
would have been fighting at quite a lightweight.
I don't know what weight, but he was only young, so probably very light, maybe 50 something.
You ain't getting big Thais.
But then there's some that are like now. You've got obviously Tawancha, he's huge, who fights at 70. He's massive. He's super bond. There's a few other 70 kilos that fight on RWS that are like Yodvicha. And they're quite big now, to be fair, but I don't know, some of them must just have a little growth spurt. Like Tawancha was fighting at my weight like before in the stadiums and stuff. He was fighting Nunganlek and stuff, and then all of a sudden I just see he's just massive now. Like he's huge. He's an absolute beast. Like, he was a beast before, but now he's a big beast. Like, he's crazy, and he fights at 70, and he's massive, and he's obviously smashing it on one.
And you fought Petch as well.
Who?
Was his name Petch?
John, but his name's John Paranchai, which is like a big gym, and sort of the owner of that gym is quite a well-known boss in the south of Thailand.
And you got to fight him as well.
Yeah, he was the champion, so that's who I fought. And the one I asked for next was Petsam.
Yeah.
Because he would be like a mad next fight, to be fair.
Is that who you're still looking to fight?
Yeah, that would be who I'd want to fight, Petsam. Yeah, when I go back out there. It'd be a very hard fight, but it'd just be unreal to share the ring with him, you know. Especially at Raja, where he's had all these crazy fights anyway. Like, if you put Petsam in on YouTube, hundreds of fights would come up. Like, he's been fighting as well since he was a baby. And that'd be interesting, especially now he hasn't fought John. I would have liked them to fight and see who won. I think John would have beat him. I think John would have been more aggressive than when he fought me. Like, more, not aggressive, like, more his stuff. Because normally he walks forward and clinches people. But he obviously thought, I'm bigger than him. He's not going to try to do that. He's going to just play the game. But the Thais he's beat, and I've watched him beat, like ones that I'm friends with, like Kongtroni is a Thai, like I'm friends with in Thailand. Like I trained at Saw Samai with him, which is like a very big gym, and another gym before that we trained together. And he beat him when I was out there, like smashed him, like. And Kongtroni was the champion at the time of Raja at this weight, and John just ran through him, like clinched the life out of him.
Yeah,
it was mad.
You must be feeling pretty confident then, man.
Yeah, well, when I saw it, I know. When I saw that, and I remember I rang him, and he don't speak English, obviously, but like we get there in the end, and I sort of said to him, like, "Oh, I'm fighting John." He's like, "Oh," and I was like, "Yeah," and he's like saying, "Oh, he's very strong, like his body's strong," and I said, "Oh, is that the one you fought when we was at the like gym last year?" And he was like, yeah, and I was like, "Oh my god, he battered you!" Like, I didn't say that to him, but this was before the fight, and I thought, "Oh my god, this is the guy that battered you."
And
man.
you've trained with him,
and I trained with him, and he's like a really good from her style, like Thai. He's on one now, but he's very good from like kicking Thai. And John ruined him, man. I remember it was on Channel 7 and just like, it was horrible. Like he proper bashed him up, man. He didn't stop him, but it was like bullying him for like rounds, man. And he come back to the gym after, and I was like, "Oh, you in pain?" And he's like, "Yeah." Like his body like cuts, and his shins and stuff were like swollen. I thought, "Oh," and then obviously I've come back to real time and thought, "Oh, now I'm fighting him." It's mad. It was mad.
What was your body in that like after the fight?
I was sweet.
You not really? You didn't really look
I'm surprised
that
he didn't
much,
cut
that
me.
damaged.
To be fair, because he landed like some good elbows on like the top of my head, but luckily I'm not too easy to cut. Like, but yeah, I didn't have no pain or anything. I was obviously gutted about the result, but at the same time, I just thought it is what it is. You know, I've gone in there, I've saved their fight. They're gonna want me back on there no matter what, and it only means like something's possible for the future, you know. Just because I've lost now doesn't mean that I can't fight him again this year, you know.
And losing in Thai doesn't mean that.
No.
You 100% weren't 100%.
No, definitely, definitely not. Like that weight cut and stuff.
But so that must give you, but to be there after 18 fights, is that 18 pro fights or is this 18
20
fights?
Now, so 20. And it's hard, like in England they say like pro-ams, like professional, but I'd say realistically I've had like 16 pro fights. That's like A class, but then a few of them have been pro-ams, so people might say, "Oh, that's professional."
So like 16 pro fights,
like A class, like full Thai rules, you know, like.
And you're fighting the best. Now you're in the weight class and you're 8th.
Yeah.
Overall, and you're fighting the best people in your weight class in the world.
Like
realistically.
stadium, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, in the world.
He is,
after 16 fights, 20 fights total.
Yeah, he is literally, if not one of the top best in the world at 5-round Muay Thai. You know, so he's got the belt. He's beaten some of the best. So at that weight,
and how many fights do these guys have? Hundreds.
Hundreds. Like If I showed you his Instagram, and he's only 22, he's only my age.
22?
Yeah, he's my age. And then I went through his Instagram, because I got him on Instagram, and it's actually nice. He sent me a nice message after, like, he's like, "I believe you'll be the next champion. You've got a very big heart, like the heart of a champion." And like, that's what it translated to.
Yeah.
Obviously,
he sent it all in Thai?
So I had to translate it. But it was a really nice message from him. And so that's how I know, like, he's a nice guy. But I've looked through his Instagram and gone down, like, not even that far. And he's like a kid, like 2019, which is obviously a few years ago now. But he looks so young and he's still fighting in the top stadiums, like, there. So it was unreal. Like, I was like, wow.
How many people were in the stadium? Like, how many people in the Raja Stadium? How many is that holding?
Oh, I don't know, like, number-wise, but it's a lot. It's a big stadium.
Couple thousand?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, over a couple thousand?
Yeah, I don't know. Got to be a couple thousand in there.
Such it.
Google it. I reckon it's got to be 10. Around a couple thousand.
Yeah.
Not 10, I wouldn't say.
I bet you get treated like a superstar over there as well, didn't you?
You do,
like,
but it's weird. Like, I think here, like, fighters, especially, well, not especially, but like Thai boxers are a bit like, think they're, in Thailand, some of them get treated like shit after the fights, or like, they're not like, they're superstars when they're fighting on TV, but realistically, they're owned by someone and they get told what to do.
Yeah.
And they do as they're told. Like, it's not.
Job.
Yeah, like, it's weird. It's weird. Like, they don't. But here, you'll have like fighters moaning about any sort of thing, you know, and like thinking they're owed something. But they're
that's just English mentality.
Yeah.
That's just England for you.
Yeah.
3,000. That's a big ass stadium, man.
Yeah. And it was full when I fought John. Like it was packed out then because it was they do like a tournament, and it was the end of that tournament. So there was some 2 big fights after me. So yeah, it was a good experience, man, fighting in that like filled out. Because I fought there when it's quiet, and then I fought there when it's busy.
Yeah.
And you can feel the difference.
What's the sort of route for you then? You just want to keep fighting on these stadium shows? Would you like to eventually go into one championship? Like, what is the actual route?
So I'd like to keep fighting on the stadiums for now, for the next few years at least. Just keep racking up. Like, I had 10 fights last year, you know. If I can do that again, I can rack up, you know, 50 fights in 3 years, another 3 years' time. And just keep doing that. Because if I was to go fight on one, which I could do, you know, there's people with less experience than me fighting on one, on like the Friday nights. But I'm not ready for it yet. Like, I need to change things about my style before I go on there. Because I feel with one, they're very like, if you go on there, you do well, you're going to be a superstar. If you don't, you get knocked out, then maybe you get one more chance. You lose, you're kind of done. They'll be like, oh, this isn't for you. Like, so I want to make sure I'm ready before I head towards that platform. So I would just like, because as well, I think it's hard. Like, Thais do it, and like one of my teammates from the gym just recently fought in the stadiums, and he's only fought on one this year. Apart from that, and won like against a good Thai. But it is hard, I think, to go between the two. Like, it's definitely a different sport, really. It's like, them style. Little gloves change everything, man. Like, it's not the same, and everything's scored different. So really, it is a different sport if you think about it, because it's scored differently. There's different gloves.
You ain't allowed to clinch.
Yeah, you don't really clinch like properly anyway. So it changes a lot. Like, it's obviously called Muay Thai, but really it's like it's its own sort of thing. And don't get me wrong, I love watching it. It's very entertaining. Like, people smashing each other on there, like, it's crazy. But I just think for me right now, it's not where I want to go. Like, I'm happy with where I'm at. I'd like to pick up a belt or more, you know, in Thailand. Before I went down the one championship route.
Would your style suit one championship?
I don't think so, but that's what I mean. I'd have to change a lot about it. Like, I think the pressure side of it was, I don't know if you saw a fighter on there recently, Lobo from Phuket Fight Club. I don't know. He's very forward pressure, like clinching style, but he was just on him, but punching him instead of like trying to grab him and knees. So it was possible. Like, the pressure would work for me well. But I'd have to just change things like my defence and stuff. Like, I definitely get hit a bit too much, especially in like the early rounds, to be going in them little gloves for the first time, you know, on a big stage like that. So I'll just keep going, you know. I think one's only going to get bigger, and if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm sure they'll want to have me on.
Especially if you're like winning stadium belts and stuff like that. You're going to be, and being English and winning stadium belts, you're going to be like the hottest prospect in the UK. And obviously they're trying to come over this way anyway.
Exactly.
Who's in your sort of weight in there? Like,
in one?
Yeah.
The best, man. When I saw Rodtang and Superlek fight, that was crazy. Obviously, Superlek was overweight, but them two are unreal, man. Like, I was there live. Like, they are, and it was unreal. Like, them two are serious.
That was a good fight.
Like,
I watched that fight. That was a good fight.
Fighting either of them in little gloves is a hard night for anyone.
I'd have loved to see the 5 rounds though.
Yeah.
I know, because he come over, they only done the 3, didn't they? But
and he was a lot over as well.
See
like,
the 5.
He weighed in at like 63.5 kilos, Superlek. Where he's a big boy as well. He's almost my size. He's only a bit shorter than me.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him at one of the shows, and I couldn't believe it. And Rodtang's like, you think he's small.
Is he not small?
He's short, but he's big.
Built.
Like, when I saw him at the gym, like, he's chubby and he's big, but he looks like he carries weight, you know. Like, he is a beast. He looks like you'd hit him and it would hurt. Like, and when I watched him on one, I thought, wow, like, he actually is unreal. In them little gloves, fighting him would be a hard night for anyone.
I bet he hits like a truck.
Yeah, and he's just on you, and you can't really hurt him. Like, I know Superlek knocked him down, but it wasn't like a clean like knockdown. Like the ref gave it, so it's obviously their decision. But it wasn't like a clean like bam and knocked him down. I mean, they're both unreal. Superlek's done it in the stadium, so has Rodtang. So
Haggerty would be in your weight as well then?
He's bantamweight now, but he used to be my weight.
But he was fighting in that weight though, wasn't he?
He was,
he could come down to come back.
I think so, but he's quite big now. Like, he's grown in to that weight, I think. I think it suits him because no one wants to cut a lot of weight. Like, I only lose a lot of weight because I want to win a belt at that weight in Thailand. After I've done that, if I had another belt fight, maybe I'll do it, but I'll go up a little bit because I don't care about fighting someone. I'm not doing it for the weight advantage. I'm doing it because that's the better division.
That's the prime division.
Yeah, that's why I want to do it, because the Thais are so good there. But yeah, Haggerty, he's grown it. Like, I saw him when I was in Koh Samui, and he looks like very good, you know. Like, and I've seen him at 61, and obviously he's smashed people there. But I think it suits him better now because he's obviously not cutting a lot of weight. He looks good, you know, like he looks filled out, and he's powerful as it is. So I think that weight suits him, and hopefully we'll see him and Nico, because obviously I've trained with Nico now.
Big,
Nico's big, and he's a fucking.
I'm looking at his delts.
He's not as tall as he's not taller than me, but he's big. Like, he's a very solid geezer.
And, legs are big.
Long arms.
He just looks all big.
He looks solid.
And he hits hard. Like, I've never trained with Haggerty, but I can imagine he hits hard. I've obviously trained with Nico. I saw that Japan sparred with him and stuff, and he hits hard. Like, I had to spar with him before he beat Nong O, and he had the, like, not the tiny MMA gloves, but like the amateur MMA gloves.
Yeah.
And he wasn't obviously whacking me as hard as he could, but even him just popping me with like little shots were like, I was like, oh, you would not want a full whack off them in them little gloves. So, and he's a beast for that weight as well. So I think it only makes sense for them two to fight, because when you look at that division now, really, that is the fight to make. He's number one now, Nico. Obviously, he's sad was like Nong O, because I love Nong O. And it's sad to see, like, because he was doing really well in the fight with Nico. Did you watch it? Yeah.
Oh, he was clips. I've seen clip it.
And he was doing really well, but I just think his chin obviously ain't what it is anymore. And like, these young guys are obviously, and they're massive and they're powerful. How old? Nong O's like 37, I thought he said on the thing.
So he's probably had like,
and Nico's like 25.
Fights,
you're at that age now. These guys are young, isn't they?
They're too young and hungry. Yeah,
because when he was chopping down his legs, I thought, all right, he might be out of it.
He's got the IQ to fight still, and like, he is strong enough, but against them sort of fighters, you're not gonna, like, if they catch you, you're gonna be in a bad way.
Yeah, and that's 2 knockouts on the bounce now.
Yeah, against like absolute beasts as well, though. Like, he's fighting absolute units.
Yeah,
like, it'd be nice to see him fight someone like, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Even the Thais in that division, all the bantamweights are big. Like, I've seen Samapech, he's a unit.
Them Thais just want to fight the best of the best, though.
Yeah, they just want to. Yeah, they love it. That's what they've been doing.
It'd be very like disrespectful if you gave someone.
Yeah, he probably don't want those. But I'd like to see him sort of retire on a win now. Like, he's obviously not going to get another title shot in a hurry, and unless he just wants to fight in one just to keep fighting, I guess. But he's at that age, like, surely he should. But no one can tell him to retire, you know. If he wants to fight, then good for him. But it's just be sad to keep seeing him.
Keep seeing him get knocked out.
Yeah,
it's like
every time.
Legends kind
After,
of
like, he was literally knocking everyone out. Like, 8, I'm sure he had like 8, 10 title defences. Like, and he was smashing everyone. It was crazy. And then obviously Haggerty done it first. And even I wrote him off for that. Like, I didn't think he was going to do that. At the time, I thought no one was beating Nong O, but he believed in himself, you know, and he done it. And then after that, I knew Nico was gonna stop him. Obviously, the first round, I was like, oh,
because they got quick hands,
them legs,
man.
But
when they
second
let them
round, he came out in southpaw, like, because his leg was beat up, and just put his hands on him. And as soon as he was connecting, you could see what he was doing to Nong O. Like, he was falling about everywhere.
His legs must fucking hurt, because I swear he was chomping.
And he must kick like donkey. Like
he was just kicking shit. He didn't
know
what he was kicking. He was just kicking.
Yeah, but them tires after like
bones.
He was. I was saying it to JP. I was like, mate, he was just kicking like Nico's block, and it looked like it was hurting Nico more than it was hurting Longo.
Yeah.
But they've got good poker faces. Like that's one thing that they're very good at, like training, like to not show, because it's important with the whole gambling aspect of 5-round like Muay Thai. You like physically what you're looking like after a round and stuff is like important for actual odds and stuff. It's crazy what goes into it, but you've got to look like good and confident. And Thais have got that built into a team, man. Some of them never look tired. Rodtang doesn't really ever look tired, but he is. I can guarantee he is tired. Yeah, but he's just very good at hiding it. You know, like they all are. All the top Thais that they've obviously fought a lot, and they've mastered that sort of blank expression, you know. Like Tawancha's another one. He's very good at that. Like he doesn't show any emotion, and he doesn't look like he's breathing. But I guarantee, like when he's in the corner, he is feeling tired. You know, like he's only human. So
from a stylistic point of view, do you reckon wins that fight out of Nico and Haggerty?
Oh, I don't know. They're both similar, aren't they? They're both absolutely like bang, like and. They're both good actual Muay Thai fighters as well. Like they're both good technically.
Do you think it'd be a more technical fight then?
I think they're both. I think it'd be fiery, like going into it, because they're both quite fiery characters. From my like, not like they've given me any stick, but like I know what they're both like. Like I can imagine it would be a good build up. You'd have to keep them apart, definitely.
Yeah,
I reckon so. I could imagine like. They'd both
talking a
be
lot of
game,
shit
you know,
to each other, yeah.
But I think if they fought, they would both respect each other's powers early on. But as soon as they start exchanging, I think it would just be like, it would be crazy, man. I don't know. I think
this is
Nico's
fight,
like,
he's a massive because he's excited when he's talking about the build-up. I'm like, oh, I want to see that shit.
I want to see it. I want to see it, man. Next
Will you
year,
be training with him?
Yeah,
for that,
he'll come out to Thailand. Yeah. Most likely, he'll come out to Thailand. Nico will, so it'll be getting.
Because that's good to just be even a part of like a big fight like that.
Yeah, like I like Haggerty, but obviously I train with Nico, so like. It'd just be a mad fight for the fans, though, like, and me being a fan included. Like, it's what people want to see.
Do you think they'll do it in Thailand or?
I think they will. I know they've signed the deal with Sky Sports, but I just don't see him coming to. That would be a good fight to come to England for, obviously. But I just think, why would they? They've got Lumpini Stadium. Like, they'll just. Because I know, like, all people to do with Muay Thai, like, oh, we'll sell out this, but. Selling out like Wembley Stadium.
I don't think they would be able to do that. No,
there's not that many Muay Thai people get it twisted. I think like Muay Thai's still not that big as people are thinking. They're like, oh, we'll sell out this or sell that. Wembley. If you go to the O2 or you go to like the Tottenham Stadium where these big boxing fights go on, there's so many like seats. Like they're not gonna sell out.
Wembley and that no chance.
No.
I don't even think the O2 you'd sell out.
O2's massive.
O2's huge.
Yeah.
The Lumpini ties 5,000 seats.
Yeah, exactly, and that only gets sold out when it's like huge cards, and so I think they'd just make good money doing it pay-per-view like they did,
having it at a decent
or
time,
on Sky Sports or whatever, having it at a good time. Which would mean obviously,
and you could do a rematch in England if you test the waters and do it at good time and see how many people like tune in. It could go sizzler, and then they're like, "Fuck it, rematch."
We're doing that again.
England.
Like, it's obviously
get Rodtang over here.
We need to get him involved. There's them though as well that are like knocking on the door of like saying they all want to fight Haggerty. So. To be fair, Haggerty's got a bit of a target on his back.
He does.
He's got some nasty people that want to get.
He said he wants to do he wants to win a belt in MMA against that same guy he just beat as well. Which I just think MMA is a bit of a different.
Yeah.
As soon as someone knows they can take you down, it's a different beast, isn't it?
I'm not going near MMA.
Like the Demetrius Johnson Rodtang.
Yeah, it was
when
just
it was like one round.
Yeah.
Rodtang beat the shit out of that boy.
Yeah.
And then next round, Rodtang was
running. It was so funny. It was so funny because Rodtang was marching down, and then the next time he was running away from him. And like, it's no matter how much you train,
That was good though. I like
that was good. I liked that as well.
It's a clever idea. It's a clever idea. That's why one are clever.
Because one fighter's going to come at you so hard to get it. So in their rule set, they're going to try and do everything to fuck you up. And then the other way around. So you see,
it's crazy.
That I wouldn't mind seeing Haggerty versus that guy he just fought in that sort of style.
But I think Haggerty in Muay Thai would knock him out. But then I think in MMA, like I think it's harder. I think because MMA's got the striking in it, and I don't think they're as good strikers, obviously, but I think it's easier to survive on the feet maybe with someone like even Rodtang, for example. Like you kind of know what he's going to do, and you could probably survive for 3 minutes against him, or I don't know if it was 5 or 3. But then MMA, it's a completely different fucking.
It's the wrestling, mate.
Yeah, especially against someone like DJ. Like
his jiu-jitsu's nasty.
He was flying armbarring people in the UFC like years ago.
That is literally someone like a black belt fighting like a white belt. Jiu-jitsu, like that is literally the level difference.
Rodtang's been kicking pads since he was 10, but he's never like would have done any of that. He's probably done a bit. Practicing for it, but that's not going to help you realistically.
It's dangerous when someone takes you down. It's a lot to get back up.
Oh, it's tiring. That wrestling as well is tiring. Like it's a different. Do you know what?
I would have loved to see that the round after. The third round.
Yeah.
So if he could have held him down and like worn him out, I would have loved to see if Rodtang still had that pop.
Yeah, I reckon
Demetrius Johnson could start like getting something going on the feet.
Because he weren't doing that bad. Like, he was getting beat.
It was just when Rodtang was running and then he got him on the cage and when I was like, right, he's going to stop him.
Yeah.
He might stop him.
And then the next round, it was the other way round.
Yeah.
It was mad. I don't think Rodtang knew he was allowed to tap, or he just thought, I'm not tapping, because he choked him out, didn't he?
He tap. He went out on his shield.
I wonder if he just thought, I'm not allowed to tap, or he didn't. He's never watched MMA, he doesn't know, like he just thought, what's this? And then boom, he was asleep.
Ego, isn't it? He's really just like,
he's like, nah, I'm not tapping.
Do more of them.
Yeah,
that was fun. That was fun.
What was it? Did they do one recently, like a kick? No, they haven't. They haven't done one in a while. I don't think. I was thinking that they done a woman's one that was like kickboxing and boxing. But I don't think they did.
Nah.
I'm getting confused. Nah, they haven't done one in a while since that one.
That'd be good.
And it needs to be a big name as well, because it's exciting.
It's just funny, isn't it?
Stick Rodtang in.
Even thinking back at it now, it's jokes, man.
Stick Rodtang back in there. That would be brilliant.
I'd just like to take this time to shout out our sponsors at Prime MMA. If you're looking to enhance your MMA skills and learn by one of the best coaches around, head over to Prime MMA now. It's as easy as clicking the link in their bio, selecting your class, selecting your purchase type, putting your email in, and then purchasing. With brilliant MMA and boxing fighters coming out of Prime, it's really the best time to start your MMA journey now. Head over to Prime MMA and let your mixed martial arts journey begin. We got loads of questions from people on Instagram as well.
Sweet.
This is from Box. So the best memory from Raja Stadium.
Oh, that's quite a hard one, because most of my fights have been at Raja now. So I've fought in some other stadiums, but mainly Raja. I mean, obviously winnings are good, but I've got to say, obviously, fighting John, I guess, even though losing, like, that was insane. Like, even to myself, that was insane. Like, when I was in the ring, that was the maddest bit, when he came in the ring and, like, he was doing Y crew and stuff. And that was insane, man. That was an insane memory. Like, I'll always remember that sort of screenshot in my head. Like, I'm thinking of it now, looking across from each other, and it was just a mad feeling, man.
Was you nervous going?
Yeah, in that one, I was like,
all the nerves come back.
Yeah, like, it was not like I was scared, but like I had nerves for it. Like, I was thinking, like, this geezer's, he's legit. Like, he's
we're
that
here
guy.
Now.
It's time, mate.
It ain't like playing around. That's what I just tried to get onto him and fast, but he was clever, man. But I think if we fought again, it'd make it more exciting because I'd have time to prepare for him, And I think there were times in that fight where I was landing good stuff. Like, I was landing good elbows, good knees, and I was hurting him with them. But the majority of the rounds he was winning. So I think just a few more fights, and then I'll be back after that one.
That's just a good lesson for you, though. You really needed definitely. That. Like your confidence now is really like, wow, I've got it down with this guy.
Yeah,
and it's not like the worst person to take your first loss to. One of the best. Like,
what was it like for you mentally after that first loss? Because obviously going on that massive tear over 2 years and not losing. Like, what was it actually like for you to deal with the first?
I think I was like 17-0, and all my fights before that, like. Well, basically, I was on like a 4 stoppage like streak anyway, and all my fights in Thailand were won by stoppage before that. So I was quite like confident, but after obviously, I'm trying to think. Like I was upset, but like not as much as I thought I would be. I remember straight after I was pretty gutted, but I wasn't like, I knew I'd tried and done everything I could, so I wasn't like feeling sorry for myself days after. And where I'm at a gym and like I'm surrounded by pretty good people, like I remember talking to Javi, who's had a lot of fights, and obviously he's lost before, and he was like, yeah, obviously you have your few days feeling sorry for yourself, but then you get back to it. Like this is what we do, you know. Like we're fighters, and especially Thai boxing, there ain't no, you can have your couple days like you said, feeling sorry, eating shit food, and like, but then you gotta start thinking about the next one, you know, because them opportunities will always come again. I got it on a few days' notice without even like, obviously I'd won a lot of fights at Raja, but that weren't the reason. Like I think they just got me because I'm like quite exciting, and like they wanted someone to push him and make it like an exciting fight, you know, for the short notice. But yeah. I took it well. I think being there on my own as well. Obviously, Andy was there for the first night, but like without having like all the pressure of people back home there, it was just guys that are sort of in the same boat. You know, they've all lost fights as well, so it was just, yeah. I think I handled it quite well. Like I think it was alright. You know.
How is it training with Andy at JD?
Yeah, really good. Really good. It's the best trainer here, like in England. I think he doesn't get enough recognition, but obviously there's other coaches that have got like these big fighters, you know, that are doing stuff, and Andy's quite humble. He doesn't really ask for much, like, but he's my coach. He's taught me everything, you know, so wherever I go, he'll always be my original coach. I always want him in my corner for every big fight. But yeah, I think he's the best coach definitely in this. I think in England, I don't see any other coaches that would put in the time that he does, especially for real Muay Thai, you know. Like he's been to Thailand, he's done that, he's fought there. He's fought a lot in the UK. He's trained a long time, like, and he's a humble guy, you know. Like we connect on more stuff than just Thai boxing, like. But we've got a very, very good relationship. Like he's more than a coach to me. He really like, because Muay Thai really helped sort out my life, and he's like a big part in that. Like inspired me to go Thailand, you know. To like, he always drilled into me how important it was, like the nights that we'd go back to his after training and I'd stay at his and we'd watch like these fights back in the 90s and stuff, you know, like that he used to watch, and he'd be like, yeah, you need to go to Thailand, like this is where it's most important, this and that, and then obviously now I'm like doing it. It's amazing. But yeah, training with Andy's the best. I wish I could take him with me. Yeah. If he didn't have kids and stuff, I'd love to take him with me, man. And if he could be in Thailand, I think I'd be really, like, that would be mad for him. I'd be not unstoppable, but it'd be like level me up, like, because us two training each day in Thailand, fighting like I do, like with that sort of attention would be scary. Like I think. Because you get more of that in England, but then you've got the fighting aspect of Thailand, and it's different. Like I said, there's pros and cons, but training with Andy, is amazing. You should come do it, whoever that is.
Did you feel yourself going down any sort of routes before you got into martial arts?
Yeah. Like I've never really like spoke about like stuff before, but I was in like a lot of trouble like with the police and stuff. I got away with quite a lot. I was going down some bad paths, man. Like some of the things I've done and did, like I'm not obviously proud of. And like most people from my area know that, like here, like they know that. That's why they're so, like, the people that I'm friends with still are so happy for me, because how I've actually changed my life around. And my mum especially, like she's obviously been there through all of it, like all the bad times, and now this has come. Like it's quite couldn't have, like it's mad really. Like she's really, really proud. But yeah, I had a lot going on, like silly stuff, you know, like when I was younger. I left school when I was year 10. Not left, like I got kicked out just for being stupid really. Like I got nicked for something, like arrested, and I come into school after it and they was like, because you've been arrested for, we want to search you every day. And I was like, no, you're not searching me, like you're not allowed to do that. And they literally, that was it, that was my last day at school, because they was like, all right, you can leave then. And I left, and that was it.
So no GCSEs, nothing?
No, nothing. So I was literally I had no direction in life. Like I had no idea of what I wanted. Like I remember all the time I'd be like, what do I want to do? And I'd never know. Like, you know, in school you'd like, or they'll ask you, and when like, say if I was like on probation or something, I'd go there and they'd be like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I never had an idea like of direction, and then I found it. It was mad, like actually having a purpose and like knowing what I want, like having like objective, having a vision of what I want. You know, it's a powerful thing. Like it's really motivated me, and now like everything's changed. It's crazy, you know. It's a mad.
Shows you for anyone
on a
watching
journey,
as well.
man.
Yeah. Like you can turn your life around at any sort of point.
At any sort of point. Like I was in a like, without going into details, in a very like rough situation, man. Like, and I won't go into detail because like I've got friends and stuff that are still involved in things, but like as bad as it can get, really. Like I wasn't living at home. I was living in like another area, like. Just crazy shit, man. And like all the people now from that, most of them, they're in prison or dead, you know. So like, and people don't realise, because obviously where I'm from, it's not like a rough area and things like that, but it doesn't really matter, you know, because
it's in every
shit's got, it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's everywhere, bro.
If you are like in that sort of thing and you want to change your life around, but I think you need to want to do it. Like you can't half wanted to, especially with something like this. Like I got to that point. I think it was when my granddad died, and I thought, you know what, like, and that was like, and then COVID and stuff, and I thought, I really need to sort myself out, you know, like, and at first it was just fitness, and then I thought, actually, like, I need to cut all this shit out, and slowly started to stop things, you know. And then obviously cut ties with a lot of people because I was stopping them things. Like I just didn't hear from them. I've got a few friends I still speak to now, but like a lot of people stopped shouting at me. And then you realise how like small your friendship group is.
Sometimes you're friends with people just for specific reasons of what you're doing at that time. And when you start growing out of things, you start losing a lot of friends.
Start realising, like
there's only a few real ones around.
I had loads of people ringing me and stuff before. Like I said, I've got friends that are like still doing bits and things like that, but excuse me. I lost my train of thought then, but what was I saying there? Man,
a few friends that still shout you.
So when I stopped all things like that, it made me realise, and now I've got like, I'd never really get phone calls anymore. It's mad.
I think that's part of growing, man. That's growth though, isn't it?
I've got like the smallest, like I've got my people here that are obviously good people that I see, but apart from that, I've just, it's crazy how my life's changed.
It's mad
like,
as well, because it's like you've used all that energy and put it all into something positive, and now you're fighting in stadiums in Muay Thai against some of the best. Like people can't get to that level of fighting and they've done it their whole life.
Yeah.
Let alone you've just switched your energy from one thing to another in a few years. You're at that level. It's crazy,
I think that's what it was like. I just kind of put everything into it when I found it, and then like, I mean, everything. Like, I didn't know that was going to be my but I just loved it. I loved watching it. I loved the idea of it. I was obviously training it 2-3 times a day. Like,
I think that's like the perfect recipe, though, isn't it? You found something that you generally love, have passion for, and you've just doubled down on it. So now it's just like everything's paid off.
Yeah, it's crazy because I'd never been like athletic. I've never done any combat sports. I've never had like, it's not like I got someone in my family that's like, well, I had my cousin that was here, but I never like, we'd never talked about it before, you know. Like, before I came here, it was only when I shouted him and then started getting on to him about it that he started, like, training me and stuff, like, but we'd never, because where I was at, we'd never spoken about it, yeah. Like, we'd never really speak to each other, you know. I never really used to see any of my family, like, properly. But now, like, all of that's changed. It's crazy. Like, I've got, like, sponsors behind me now. Like, I'm literally doing this full time. I'm able to live in Thailand, which is amazing, you know. Like, even though it's hard work and I'm away from home, it's still, like, pretty unreal to be doing it, you know. So, yeah, where I'm at now is pretty crazy from where I was, like, a few years ago. Not even that long ago as well. Yeah. Like, I get memories on my, like, phone or, like, Snapchat and things like that, and I'm like, wow, that weren't even that long ago, man. Like,
your life can completely change within the space of a few years.
But I was very lucky, like, that I didn't get caught for certain things I was doing, because I was like, I could have.
You dodged a few bullets.
Yeah,
you needed that luck. Some people need that luck, because some people do it and then they're trapped in that lifestyle,
exactly.
And that might just be their journey. But it's like you were destined for something better.
Yeah.
You probably always knew you were destined for something a bit greater, because you're dodging a few.
When you're younger, though, you slightly know deep down this ain't really me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I was pretty, like, in it at the time, and I was pretty lost because I was, like, obviously smoking and drinking, and, like, I think that clouds your brain a bit, like smoking weed. I think I've got nothing against that, but mate, like, because a lot of my friends do it and stuff. Dead. But I think it, like, clouds you, and it stops you from having that sort of, like we said, like, vision and like that. And when I stopped that, when I went to Thailand, like, the first time, like, last year, then I really got an idea of what I wanted to do. But, like, I think before I was just so lost. Like, when I left school, and then, well, not even left school, like, kicked out of school, basically, and I was so lost then, like, didn't have, like you say, GCSEs, didn't have an idea of what I wanted to do, wouldn't have been able to get a job. I thought, well, I'm just going to have to do this then, like, earn money myself and graft.
Look, you made it happen, man.
Yeah.
Now you're an inspiration to a lot of people.
Yeah,
so a lot of people.
I'm on the wall. I'm sure I was in the top left as well. Now I've been changed around.
No, that's wicked, man. Congratulations for all of that as well.
Thank you.
That's brilliant. What are the top names in UK Muay Thai that you would fight as of right now?
UK. I think around my weight, who's smashing it at the minute or doing well? I think I'd have to say, thinking between 61 and 63 and a half. Like, active-wise, there's not too many people that I would fight, I think, that would be a great fight. I think Anthony Deary, he's doing quite well. Well, he is doing well, to be fair to him.
He's tall, isn't it? Liverpool, from Liverpool.
Yeah, he's from Liverpool, and he was always, like, below my weight. And I saw him at a few shows, like, we fought on the same shows and stuff. And now he is my weight. And I have been asked and stuff to fight him, but I just don't think I'm going to stay. Like, I don't think it will happen. Like, it would be a good fight because we're both, like, don't have a size advantage on each other.
Yeah, he's very technical as well.
Yeah, he's technical. Yeah. I'm not. I'm more like, so it would be like...
it'd be good. Two different styles colliding.
All the clash of styles is always good. Like, it's interesting. So, I think he's definitely doing well. I'm trying to think of anyone else that's around that weight that's, like, would interest me, you know. I've got people that I'd like to fight, like, worldwide, but a lot of them are Thailand based now. I've kind of took my eyes off the UK.
Yeah, that's another question though. Dream fights for 2024 and goals.
Like I said, Petchdam was a good fight. I'd like to earn the rematch with John, but I'd like to earn it by winning a few first on RWS and then getting it. So like maybe halfway through the year or something after 3-4 fights. Fight some top Thais in that rankings, but also fight some more 5-round, like same day, same weights. I'd love to fight on Channel 7, which is like quite an exclusive stadium. It's hard for foreigners to get on. But luckily, like the gym I'm at, they're quite. We're quite close to Channel 7, and the promoter, the guys that promote there, they're like close with the boss of my gym. And Xavi from my gym, he just fought there recently, so it's possible, you know. You just got to have the style and fight at a good weight. Like he fights at like 57, so that's an elite weight, you know. So he can get fights quite easily in Thailand. But I think all my fights will be over there next year. Maybe Australia, that would be interesting. I had offers for that last year, but they were either too short coming or like they didn't make sense or
Is it
this
big
and
in
that.
Australia?
Yeah, they've got quite a big platforms there.
Yeah.
And they are like, I like how they do it because they've got a lot of 5-round shows, like a lot of pure Muay Thai sort of things, like especially shows like Rebellion and there's another one, that 1974. They're like real Muay Thai shows, you know. Because a lot of Thais go to Australia to coach and to train or to like, because they get a girlfriend or whatnot. Because it's not far. It's like we go to Spain. A lot of Aussies will go to Thailand, like Phuket, because it's closer, you know, for them. So you get a lot of Australians and like New Zealanders in Thailand. So yeah, I'd like to fight there. I've also got some family out there that have moved out, like from like my mum's side and my dad's side, so it'd be interesting like to see where I could fight out there to hopefully get some people coming. But I've had messages already like from a pod, well not even a pod, it was more of like a chat I done with an Australian guy, Joe, who does like sort of media stuff in Thailand, and I heard messages after our chat that he posted up on his page. And it was from like people from Australia, like, yeah, man, like we'll support you if you're coming over to fight. We want to watch you fight. Like we love your style and that. So hopefully that can happen.
That's sick.
There's a demand there.
There's a demand there. I mean, it was only like a few, like, but it would be interesting. You know, they do get you some big fights as well. Like it'd be nice to fight. There's some top guys. If I was to look through the like 61, 63 and a half rankings, I'd be able to pick out some top guys, but without looking,
it's hard to see.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, there's guys out there, but in England, not too many. I think Anthony's the only one who's really.
You're fighting at that level though.
Yeah,
I'm fighting the best of the best.
Yeah,
and you're not going to be in the loop really as much over here.
There's not much that's going to do anything for my career over here. Like even if they would be good fights, I'm not saying I'd beat anyone in the UK. I just mean the Thais don't give a shit about the UK. You know, these world titles and stuff don't mean anything to them. Like it's all about what you do in Thailand. So I'm kind of just focused on that for now. I've not been watching like all these shows and stuff and whatnot. Sometimes I'll get tagged in something like, oh, this person like wants to fight you, and they'll be like saying, oh yeah, I'd like to fight him like one day, which is obviously nice. You're obviously doing something right. Like I remember once someone come to the gym and they'd been training someone else, and they was like, oh yeah, I was training with mate, you know, he's fighting on there. Like I won't say his name, and he's like, yeah, he said he wants to fight you in 2 years' time, A-class rules. I thought, oh my God, how are you planning to fight someone in like
2 years?
Yeah, like that's crazy.
That's what I mean. But that's like it's for these younger fighters. You're their goal. Like you're their target.
It's nice.
2 years away.
Nice.
Man.
Yeah.
Man's have a target. He's got on the vision board. Mate.
Already
on the bag.
It's not me. It's thinking of me, man.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Hopefully with a belt or two in Thailand. I think that's when 5 years, I'll be about 27, I'll just turn 27. Still got a nice few years in me there. I mean, hopefully with another 50 fights or just under, you know, I'd like to keep fighting at least 10 times a year. And and with a belt or two, fighting at the top level in Thailand, you know, getting paid good money. And that's it really. I think just coming back to England for like holidays, going there and just like being sort of at that top level and getting recognised of winning some big titles, you know, that would be unreal. And then I think coming up to 30 would be where I'd want to start looking towards like 1 or maybe just below that, like 28, 29 and start. You don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know what opportunities will come your way, like that.
But then I've like had a successful career, you know. Like my like goal would be to have 100 fights at least, you know, like in my career. So that's what I want to do. So I'm on the way to doing it, but it's going to take a few more years, like fighting in Thailand, because you can't stay that active over here.
Yeah. Top 5 fighters of all time.
That's well hard.
I'm assuming it's in Thai, but you can do 3 if.
Yeah, I mean, I've got my favourites, and then like.
Yeah, let's go your favourites.
We'll go your favourites. Obviously, my number 1 favourite is Seksan. I've met him quite a few times now. Like, he's just everything about him as a person and a fighter. He's just a great, amazing. And then let's say stick to like newish fighters. Who would I say is number 2? I'm trying to think without going too deep because I know so many different fighters, man.
It could just even be current who you just enjoy watching, like whenever they have a fight. You'll watch it.
Yeah. Who do I enjoy watching at the minute? Have to be one of the one guys I say. I mean, Tawanchai, he's unreal, you know. His IQ's amazing, like insane how he does what he does. So yeah, Seksan, Tawanchai, a couple of them. I mean, you can't not love watching Rota. I mean, all the one guys are exciting because they're fighting in little gloves, a lot of them, and going crazy. So it is mad exciting. Obviously, I love 5-round Thai boxing anyway. So, like, that will always be my love. But I don't think I could even pick 5, you know? There's so many out there from, like, the golden era to the generations before me.
Someone did have a question from that as well. What would your dream fight with a golden era fighter be?
Don't know, probably another knee fighter like Langsuan or something. See how I'd get on with him.
Yeah.
He's a big Muay cow, you know.
The
meeting in the middle, just kneeing the shit out of each other.
It'd be insane.
That'd be mad to watch. Everyone just going for the clinch.
Yeah, you don't see it as much anymore. Like back then, there used to be some strong Muay cow fighters, man. Like fucking really strong. So
how do you get a good clinch? Do you train
just
it,
or clinching?
Just keep clinching?
Yeah, I think just clinching and like just clinching every day. I mean, going to Thailand helps. Like being out there with them guys, they're always going to be the best because they do it twice a day, every day for years. So that's how you obviously get good at it. There's no sort of like way I think to get stronger in there. I think just by doing it and fighting, your IQ will get better with like certain things. And then you'll learn techniques along the way. But there's no really... You can learn all the techniques you want, but without practicing it all the time, you're never going to pull them off because you won't be as comfortable. Like when I spar and I clinch, like I'm so comfortable now. Like it's just...
You know you're on.
Yeah. It's just like... It's weird. Like I think the Thais are best at that. Like being so comfortable that you're just kind of
in flow.
Yeah, you're just in flow and just like enjoying it as well, and you don't feel yourself getting as high because you're enjoying it. And then like it's crazy, you know, like when you see Sanchai like sparring or hitting pads, he's just making crazy noises and just doing the maddest stuff. But I think that's just more to keep him focused because he's not like getting like tired and thinking about that sort of thing. A lot of Thais are like I've fought Thais that make like crazy noises and stuff when you're fighting. Like I mean like noises when they're throwing shots sort of thing or like taking shots. Yeah. Yeah, exactly like that. But some of them, or they'll be like, oh, we like in a fight when they land a kick on you or something. It's mad, man. It's mad.
Why don't you have any sakyants?
I just think I'm very like all or nothing, and I think if I got any tattoos, I'd either have a load or I'm going to be one of them guys with none, you know?
Yeah. For anyone watching home, a Sakiyant is a tattoo.
Yeah, it's like a Thai tattoo.
When he said it, I was thinking, is this guy having me on? Yeah. I was thinking, someone's put a fake question in there, bro.
No, I just think it's either, for me, I think I'd either get like one or
you'd be tatted up just everywhere, yeah.
I just don't think I want to be, you know?
Save yourself.
I don't think I can do tattoos, man. Because I'm such an overthinker. I think I'd get it and then I'd be like,
not like it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's on me now. It's on me. It's done. It's game over.
Yeah, so I'm not too keen on getting it. I thought about it before, but it's never come to the point I thought, yeah, I'm going to get one. So, yeah.
How do you tackle your weight cut routine?
What the actual? Do you reckon? I mean, the actual water cut or like the whole process? And
we'll say the whole process because I think he's a fighter in your sort of weight division. He's a bit younger, but he said he's going into that level of fighting.
So obviously, I diet. I've got a nutritionist now. I'm working with Sean Aspinall. He does a lot of the guys up north. But yeah, so diet. Eat clean, train hard, weight comes off me quite easily then. I always lose weight pretty fast when I'm being strict on myself. But when I diet, I'm not really talking like cheat days because I'm eating quite well anyway, so I don't really need like cheat. I don't crave certain foods when it's only when you're on that last week and you have to eat like shit stuff no carbohydrates and no salt and things like that. That's when it starts to get like, you start craving things. So anyway, in the UK or Thailand really, I diet for as long as I can until the fight's coming up, till the last week. See where I'm at. That will depending where I'm at, that will see how much, if I'm gonna like do like a water load. Sometimes I won't water load, which is obviously drinking like a lot of water.
Start with like 8 litres and then you taper it back down.
Yeah. But sometimes I haven't done that. But I'll decide where I'm at. So realistically, I like to enter fight week at about 65 kilo, around there. So like 4 kilos off. For me, that's comfortable. Like I'm happy with that. Then I'll probably lose another kilo through the week. Like just getting a good sweat on every day, so my body's getting used to it. It's easier in Thailand because
It's humid.
It's so hot, you're sweating all the time anyway, so your body's used to sweating. But in England, you need to make sure you're like going to saunas and stuff and doing like the heat acclimation. Yeah. So like your body's used to that sweat. So when you get in a sauna or you get in a sweatsuit, it's not like an unnatural thing. It's just like you've been there and you're sort of more used to it. It's still going to be horrible, obviously. It's not going to change it completely. But it will feel better. Like I've done it without and with, and it definitely is better if you prepare for it. And saunas are good for you anyway, so you should be using them if you're training hard. So yeah, I'll get to the fight week. That's when I'll cut like carbohydrates, salts. So I'll be eating what my nutritionist says. Then we'll just get to 3 things a day. It's interesting because different nutritionists come up with different things, but like different food-wise, but I won't give away all the secrets. So keep going till about Wednesday night, Thursday. And that's when, depending on the weight, I should have lost like another kilo maybe, just through training that week and like eating less. And then Thursday, that will depend what I'm eating. Because say you're weighing in on a Friday morning, like 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock. So Thursday is your big day really for like sauna and things because you're weighing in the next morning. Unless you want to leave for the morning. But I get paranoid, man. I have to get some off. Like I can't go to sleep with all that weight and think, I've got to do that in the morning. Like I have to lose it. So I go on Thursday, say I'm like 64. Thursday night, go to the sauna, get over half of it done, so I can always think mentally like I'm over halfway now. Normally, if you've been water loading or you've cut the carbs out and you've been sweating all week but you haven't lost any weight yet, like sweating out, I mean, it will come off really quick straight away. Like last time I done it, I was in the sauna for like 20 minutes, 15 minutes in the hot tub, then wrapped myself in a sauna suit, towel wrap, weighed in, got back in the sauna, 15 minutes, then 10 minutes in the hot tub, done the same with the towel wrap, and I'd lost like loads, like 2.5 kilo, like straight away. Yeah, it was mad, man. I was like, yes. It was so quick. Because that was straight after.
That's the best feeling, is when you look at them scales, you're like, fuck,
I've lost more than I thought. Yeah, it's the best. But yeah, so Thursday, sort of get your weight off then, however you please. I mean, some people do baths, some people run. I prefer the sauna now, like. Well, now I've been introduced to using, if you can, the sauna and a hot tub. If you're at like a place that you can do that, that is ideal, because you can do like half the time in the sauna. When you feel like you're getting too much, you can give your head a bit of a break, but you're in the hot tub, so your body's still sweating. So if you can do that, that's pretty spot on. But sauna I've used, that's the best for me. I find that I don't really like the bath. I don't know why. I think I had a bad experience once with Andy. And it's a funny story where he kept coming in with this kettle and pouring it in. And I was like, so hot. And I was going, no, like, not. And he was like, no, just one more. And it was so hot. And then we had to drive up to Liverpool, and I felt like so rough. And I got there and I was like a 0.5 under. And I was like, I knew it was too hot, that bath. And obviously you're done then, like, you're done by then. So it's all like jokes.
Scolding in there, man.
It was,
like
man. It was
gammon.
too hot. It was too hot. But we made weight, so we was there. So I survived it, and I won. So there you go.
What do you do when you're not training?
I'm always training, really.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, it doesn't sounds like you're just sleeping when you're not training.
Literally, like, sleep, eat, train. Obviously, now I'm back here for a bit. I'm spending as much time with my family and stuff as I can. Getting around like most of my friends and stuff, but I'm still in here every day. Andy's actually in Manchester at the minute, seeing some family, so I won't be training with him for a few days. But it's alright. I'm just getting around people, you know. I'll keep myself busy, but I'm always training, really. The max I'll take off is after a fight, like a week, and that will just be to kind of rest my body and just enjoy like sleeping and not getting up well early and just enjoy myself for a few days.
Or anything like that?
No. I did before I went, but now obviously where I was in Thailand, I hadn't played one for ages, and then
it's just gone
monk mode, man.
Yeah.
Full on, bald head and everything.
Just sleeping.
What has been the hardest part of your journey so far?
Oh, I don't know. I've enjoyed a lot of my journey, you know. Like, a lot of it's been memories that I'll remember forever, and it's all been pretty enjoyable. I mean, I haven't had no big like obstacles in the way yet. Like, I've had like hard weight cuts and things like that, but that's all part of the job, you know. Like, that's what I've signed up for. So I kind of just take things in my stride. I don't know what I'd say has been too hard so far, you know. Like,
I feel like you're the type of guy that just embrace it. So
yeah,
it's really hard. You just look at it and think,
we'll do it.
It's not like I'm lucky. You know, I'm healthy. I haven't got, like I said, no injuries. I'm in a good place right now. My family's healthy, so I can't ask for much more. Like, so I think everything right now is going pretty well for me.
Yeah,
I haven't had many obstacles in the last. If we're talking since I've been doing Muay Thai, then it's all been pretty enjoyable. If I'm honest,
more plain sailing than before. Life's got easier.
Life has gone a lot more stressful. Definitely.
How has Alfie built up the confidence to increase the level of competition so quickly?
I just think I had a big fight in England before I went to Thailand. And I fought a guy who'd had like 50 fights, and he was very good. He'd fought loads in Thailand, and he'd come over from Thailand to stay in Manchester for a bit, and we was going to fight in Liverpool. And that was a big fight for me, and loads of people ripped me off for that. Like, guys that were coming training here were like having side bets with other people and that, like thinking, like, this guy's going to be too experienced.
Guys that you were training with?
not
just
with,
people
but
that were
like
just in the
people that
gym,
would come
yeah, you just
sparring,
hearing
like
stuff, yeah,
and they were like talking to people up north and like saying, oh yeah, he like a guy come here for sparring basically, who two of them that come down here, and obviously I was like in really good shape at this time, like and they weren't really like fight ready or anything, and I was literally going. They were going one in, one out with me, and I was staying in the whole time. And I remember after we finished that, they was like, "Yeah, you're gonna beat this guy. Like, you're fit. Like, you're in unreal like shape at the minute. You're just too strong, too big, like too everything really." And they believed in me. And I remember there was a few guys up north like, "Nah, there's no way. Like, he'll win this fight. He's not had the experience, you know. Like, I've never fought anyone of that sort of level." I'd been to Thailand, but I'd never fought. I only had 2 fights out there by then. So yeah, it was interesting. And then we fought, and it was probably one of my best performances to date. Like I really fought well, and obviously beat him. And it was a massive win for me. And I think since then I've just not been really worried about who I'm fighting. Like I wasn't that worried about that fight. I mean, I remember when at the weigh-ins and stuff, you just kind of. Everyone's sort of human, aren't they? Like no one's got any superpowers. Like we're all the same. So I'm just gonna go in and do what I can do. And we've always believed here as well, especially like me and Andy, it is a fight at the end of the day. Like you two are going in there, anything can happen. So I can easily win, like, and take the momentum I've got with me. Just because you've had 50 fights in the past, like. Doesn't change. Obviously, you're gonna have more like ring IQ and whatnot, but that didn't help him. So
that's the confidence, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
where you build it.
You've got to believe in yourself as well. You've got to have that self-belief, and if you train hard though, and you're really fit, and you've put everything into your training and your diet, and you've made weight properly, then you should believe in yourself. Like you should be confident. I went up there fully thinking I was gonna beat him. Like. There wasn't really a doubt in my mind. Like I thought I was going to lose, and obviously their team thought the same, and obviously we come out on top on that one, and it was a big win for me. My first big win, really. And since then, had one more fight in the UK. That was this year actually. I had one more fight in the UK after that on CFS, and then.
So when did you make the decision? Like I'm going.
It was after that last fight on CFS, and I wanted to fight again, like, soon as, like, and I couldn't get nothing. Like, promoters were coming back, like, sending us screenshots and that. Like, they'd been asking people in the rankings, and they was like, nah, I'm not fighting him. Like, people were coming up with all sorts of excuses, and then there was actually one guy that said, like, nah, I've not fought in, like, a long time. I'm not coming back and fighting that kid. So I think my style puts a lot of people off in the UK. There's obviously kids that will fight me, like, of course, but it's not a style you get a lot in the UK. In Thailand, it's more common. But I think it was lost, like, along the way, like, that sort of heavy clinch, heavy knee style. No one really else has it on the UK scene that I see. I mean, there probably is a few, but... Like I said, I haven't watched too many. I only really watch people from my gym when they fight. So, apart from that, I wouldn't actually know. But, yeah, I mean... Yeah, no, I don't know any other sort of ones with that style in the UK, thinking of that.
Marky May.
Yeah, Mark May, yeah. Muay Thai. Yeah. He's heavier though. I think he's like more 69, 68. Is there anything else from you?
Man, I think we touched everything.
We've missed. I've got 2 more questions anyway that we ask everyone. So when it's all said and done for you, you've achieved everything you wanted to. How does Alfie Pearse actually want to be remembered? So we'll say it as a person. How do you actually want to be remembered?
That's a good question. As a good person, you know, and also, like, if we're talking on the, well, not just in the fight scene, but always sort of gave my everything, you know, did my best. So that's something I always like think about when I fight. But like in anything, I think it's important, like, do your best, and then whatever happens kind of happens, you know, like, so just a good person, done my best, you know, and Yeah, that's it really. Just a good question. It's quite hard to think of an answer for that. It's quite deep, that one.
Yeah, it's deep.
Yeah,
it's deep.
When I thought, how do I want to be remembered?
We bring everyone up and then at the end it gets real deep.
I was like, wow, how do I want to be remembered? Shit.
And your most euphoric moment in life so far. So the pinnacle for you. So a moment that sort of always sticks with you, that you always sort of remember.
Oh, it's a hard one.
We'll say with Thai. With
Thai,
fighting,
yeah.
So a moment that always sticks out to you, that it gives you goosebumps thinking of it now.
Oh, it's hard. Like, I've had so many good moments through Thai, man. Like, he's done so much for me. But I think I just have to say, like I said earlier, going into that fight for with the champion, that's the one that really kind of like hits me, you know. And like I think about like fighting like Adam Noy and Felipe and stuff, they were big fights as well, but it was just a feeling of it. And like when I think about it, I can always remember like sitting next to each other and him just with that belt just smiling at me, and I'm just like smiling back at him, and it was just a crazy like moment, you know. I'm glad I got to live it, because it's insane. And it was so weird, like thinking where I've come from to like sitting there at that stadium fighting the champion was so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's got to be it really for me. But like I said, I've had so many good moments through Thai, like seeing how proud my family are, and like the fights and all the fights in England I've had great like support with, and the whole journey's been amazing, you know. Like the whole like the start of it to getting in shape, finding myself, like getting that vision, to now having it and just trying my best like to keep it going, you know. So the whole journey, but that has got to be the most like the biggest moment for me. Yeah, the
journey's been crazy as well. It's been wicked to speak to you, man. Thank you for letting us do this with you, man. It's cold out. It's getting cold in here. I'm going to link all your stuff down below. I know you've done a lot with Siam. Is it Siam Boxing?
Siam Boxing, yeah.
So there's a lot of series of you out there. Series in Thailand as well.
Yeah,
so I'll link all that stuff down below. I'll link your Insta down below. People go check that stuff out and just keep watching your journey, man. It's been an incredible journey.
Thank you for letting us in the gym as well. Come down to the gym if you're local.
Yeah, you will be getting more cowed up. But no, people, it's been another episode of the Curious Fijian, and peace, people.
Thank you.